Hello, my podcast people, and thank you for joining me for yet another episode of my favorite podcast. If you are listening, tuning in, watching on the day that it drops, it is Monday, February 17th. And if you are listening, you're not watching it on YouTube, you're listening, then maybe you notice a little bit of a change. I got rid of the little intro thing, right? We still have the actual intro music because it's so fucking good, of course. But the little blurb that I used to do before, I was sitting here and I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. It feels redundant. And we can just hop into the episode. So that's what we are doing, folks. We're having an episode. So today we are talking about viewing your business as an opportunity. I hope that you had a great Valentine's Day if you celebrate that Hallmark holiday. I don't know how mine has gone because I'm recording this before Valentine's Day, but we have dinner plans and it should be great. But yes, hope you enjoyed yours. And how about that Kendrick concert? Yeah, that man... He is a gift to us all. He about to single-handedly bring back low-rise jeans, and for that I am grateful. Right? I never got rid of bootcut jeans. He had on flares, but I have never stopped wearing bootcut jeans. I wear boots, and I have had the worst fucking time finding low-rise jeans. My torso is not long, so I need shorter jeans, right? Shorter rise jeans. So I'm happy about that. We'll see what happens. But as for his actual performance, if he didn't like it, well, you are absolutely entitled to be wrong. I said what I said. But obviously you're entitled to your opinion. And I totally get it if you don't know his music. And so that makes it less fun, right? You go to a concert, you go to something, you're like, I don't know these songs. It's not as fun. I get that. But there's definitely a lot to be said about the artistry and the storytelling and the sheer audacity. And I personally really enjoyed it. So a quick announcement right off the bat. Next Monday's episode, it's episode 653. That is a guest episode, and I've brought back in none other than the ever incredible Dr. Jennifer Hutton, aka Dr. J-Pop. She's been on the show before numerous times. She's in the intro. You heard her. She was in the first iteration of the intro. She's in the second iteration of the intro with a little bit more flavor. And I brought her back on the podcast to share her thoughts on everything that is going on right now and where do we go from here and what do we do? What can we do? It was a really good discussion. And if you are the type of person who loves a checklist, well, I think you're going to both love and hate that episode. So I hope you tune in. But speaking of episodes, thank you for tuning into last week's episode. That was episode 651. Should you share your political views on social media? Spoiler, yes, I do think so. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out for the nuance. But it received great feedback. I really enjoyed putting that episode together. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. So again, if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, go check it out. If you did listen to it, thank you. If you gave me feedback, double thank you. So transitioning into today's episode, which is viewing your business as an opportunity. Quick disclaimer, I'll call it that. Yes, we are still talking about politics. How can I not? If that ain't your thing and you're tired of hearing all this stuff, by all means, feel free to go check out one of my other episodes. I have 650 plus episodes. But I will ask that if any part of you still has it in you, listen to this episode. I do believe that if you've been in my ecosystem for any amount of time, but obviously especially if you've been in and been around for a bit, then you are prepared to weather this storm. You are strong enough to keep showing up and keep facing things head on and keep consuming the things. And I did an episode 2 episodes ago about pausing and pacing yourself, but you're prepared for this. You can handle this, and for that, I want to commend you, and I also want to thank you. On this podcast, right, not this episode, but this podcast in general, I speak about things that are important to me, things that are going on in real time in my life. And y'all already know I don't batch shit. I can't like record 4 episodes in a day because then I'm like, but suppose there's something to say in 4 weeks, right? So, to that end, this right here and what I'm talking about today, what I've been talking about, is what's important to me. This is what is going on in real time in my life. So this is what I'm going to be talking about. So thank you for being here. So today, if you're hearing that noise, that is the microphone, just kind of adjusting it here. So today, kind of following up on what I talked about last week, which was, should you share your political views. And I want to talk today about viewing your business as an opportunity amidst all of this political stuff that's going on. Right? There is a chance that if you're listening to this episode, you may not have your own business. That's fine. Apply this message to anything that you own or anything that you're in charge of, right? You are obviously in charge of and you own your actions, but perhaps you run a team, a sports ball team, maybe. Perhaps you're in a leadership role at work or a part of the community, right? I believe you can apply what I'm saying today to that. Right? So I do continue to feel like we are in this great period of hurry up and wait, right? Wait for the other shoe to drop. Wait to see how bad things get. Wait for things to affect more people. Wait for things to affect us personally and affect us enough that we have to change our day to day, or affect us enough that we have to actually do something, right? At the risk of stoking fear, I do think that things are going to get worse. I think that things are going to affect you and they are going to affect me far more than just our Instagram feeds turning heavily political. Right? How exactly things are going to change and get worse, I don't know. All right. And to me, that is a big privilege, right? Being so protected and insulated from change that a lot of shit has to happen before it directly affects me. I have great privilege with that. And I do want to acknowledge that. Right? I'm not out here trying to be Nostradamus or anything. And again, I honestly do not know exactly how things are going to change and how things are going to play out. But where my head is currently at is not so much, sorry for that whistle there, it's not so much being prepared. It's about getting ahead of things, right? And so this episode and this idea came after watching a 7-minute reel. This is a long reel. It was posted earlier today or shared by The Conscious Lee. We'll link his account. Thank you, Courtney. And he shared the 7-minute reel, and we will also link that reel. It is not his reel. It is a reel from a guy named Brandon King. I think that's the guy's name. It's on TikTok. It's a TikTok video that he pulled over. I didn't go and look for the guy's name. I'm not going to lie. But either way, it says like his little name, like on the video as a watermark. But I'm going to encourage you to go and watch the whole video at some point. But I'm going to right now read an excerpt from it. I thought about, I love technology. I thought about splicing it in and just splicing in the clip. But I think it might be better for me to use my voice to read his words so that your brains can just focus on the words and not worry about whether or not you trust the person delivering them. Because hopefully you're listening to this, you trust me. Right? So, one of the things to note is that, and tying into this trust idea of I want there to be trust, inherent trust, because when we speak about things that feel so crazy, right, and they feel like they border on conspiracy, we sound crazy. But the shit that we're talking about is not crazy at all, right? Because it's happening right now. It is actually happening. And sometimes you're just like, wow, that just sounds crazy. And you're like, but actually it's happening. All right, so I am going to use my voice to share what I consider to be some really insightful words from Brandon. And if the spirit moves you, I encourage you to go check out the whole reel when you're done listening to this episode, okay? So Brandon said, here's something people forget. America is not just the federal government. The United States is 50 states, 3,000 counties, and 330 million people. The federal government may collapse. It may be seized by the oligarchy. It may become a hollowed-out technocratic dictatorship under Musk and Thiel's new monarchy. But the country does not cease to exist because the government is compromised. State governments still function. Local communities still operate. The infrastructure of daily life does not vanish overnight. That's why the ruling class is terrified, because they know that even if they take the government, they don't control the people. And the people outnumber them 3 million to 1. They can buy every politician, every corporation, control every media narrative, but they cannot rule without consent. And consent, that's crumbling. People are waking up. People are realizing that the entire system has been a scam, that capitalism was never about freedom, that democracy has been held hostage by a minority of elites for generations, that every institution has been rigged in their favor, and now, in their desperation to cling to power, they're showing their hand. They are not invincible. They are not gods. They are a handful of men who only rule because we let them. And the moment we decide we don't, it's over for them. The old system is dying. That much is clear. But America is not ending. It is waiting to be rebuilt. And the real fight isn't just about surviving Trump or Musk or the corporate coup that's happening right now. It's about what comes after. If we let them dictate the terms of the new system, we get techno-feudalism. A world ruled by oligarchs, where democracy is a relic, where labor is disposable, where power is concentrated in the hands of those who own the infrastructure of society. But that is not the only option. If we refuse to let this collapse be their opportunity, if we seize it for ourselves, then we have the chance to finally build the America that should have existed all along. An America that actually lives up to its Enlightenment values. I said Enlightenment values. An America where power is not hoarded by billionaires, but distributed among the people. An America where technology serves humanity, not profit. An America where the American experiment isn't just a myth, it's reality. This moment, it's not the end of a nation. It is the end of an empire. And what happens next? That's up to us. Really fucking good. This guy's really good. This, my friends, is where your business as an opportunity comes into play. Y'all, we can start creating shit right now. The world you want, the way you want business to be done, the way you want power to be distributed, the topics that you want to be elevated, the way you want women to be treated, the way you want to be treated as a customer, as a consumer, what conversations you want to be having, what message you want to be spreading, how you want to sell, how you want to be sold to. We can start doing that shit right now. You don't have to wait. Right? You don't have to fucking wait. You can do it right now. Many of us who have our own things, even if it's a side hustle, so much of why we started this thing and so much of why we keep it going, even if it's really tough and maybe you're struggling a bit, it's to be able to do things our own way. This is a bit of foreshadowing to next week's episode with Dr. J-Pop. Please tune in. But you get to now take a moment and ask yourself, what is your way? You started the business to do things your own way. You're keeping the business going to be able to do things your own way. What is your own way? And then you get to ask yourself, do you like it? Does it feel good to you? Your business is an opportunity to start building the world that you want right now. I'm going to end it there. There's lots to think about. Maybe you go back and listen to that passage again, but I'm going to end it right there. As always, super, super grateful that you are here, that you give me a space to express this, that you listen, that you tune in, that you DM me, you text me, you share the stuff on social media. Super, super grateful. And I hope that you tune into next week's episode. All right? All right. Until next time, friends, Maestro out.